Hi friends! Recently my husband and I spent a week in New York City celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. We had an amazing time and we created some wonderful memories. Of course, while we were there, we had to squeeze in some shopping, and what better place to shop for paper crafting supplies than New York City, right? So I thought it would be fun to share some of our trip with you, show you some of my purchases, and then make a card or two. The Paper Source is a cute shop in the beautiful Upper West Side of the city, and it sells specialty papers, stationery, and card making supplies. It also has this great area where they have classes. Next up is the Strand Bookstore. It's a landmark shop in the East Village specializing in new, used, and rare books. This is probably my daughter's favorite place in the entire world, so of course we had to go. Here you see me browsing the dollar book section where I picked up a few books, and I'll show you later on in the video what I did with those books. On our very first day in the city, we made a mad dash to Veselka, where I am not exaggerating, you all, when I tell you that we had the world's best pierogi and sauerkraut. I kid you not, I literally moaned out loud after every bite of that sauerkraut. And it was quite embarrassing, but it was so good. After we had our meal, we headed out to the Museum of Modern Arts. That was my daughter and husband in the beginning of this clip. On this particular night, it was free admission between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m., which was very nice. It was also very busy. Our family enjoys a plant-based diet, and one of the many wonderful things about the city is that there are unlimited dining options available. On this particular day, we got takeout food from the Cinnamon Snail in Penn Station, and then we went outside and sat on the steps and did some people watching. It was so much fun. Speaking of food, everybody knows that Chloe Coscarelli is my favorite professional chef. I own all of her cookbooks, and I prepare meals from those books nearly every day of the week. And I'm not exaggerating about that. So it was a priority of mine to dine at her new restaurants while we were in the city. First, we went to the Bleecker Street location, as seen here in these photos, and then later on in the week we went to the Flatiron District location. Both were excellent, and everything was absolutely delicious. On September 28th, the actual day of our wedding anniversary, we were in the studio audience of Live with Kelly. On that day, the handsome Tom Selleck was one of the guests, and it was really fun and exciting. And there's us in the studio audience. Hi! There are so many parks and so much green space in the city, so many places to have a picnic or read a book or just sit down and rest for a little while. For the first half of our trip, we stayed at the Carlton. It's a beautiful historic hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Now, when we first pulled up in front of the hotel, there was a lot of commotion outside, and I thought it was construction. It was actually a film crew there. They were filming scenes for the TV show Madam Secretary inside the hotel. So that was pretty exciting. For the second half of our trip, we rented a newly remodeled studio apartment in Midtown East through Airbnb. It was really fun staying in an apartment because it made you feel like you were truly a part of the city, like you lived there and you weren't just visiting. Our hosts were Evan and Maria, and they were truly accommodating. They even left us a bottle of wine and a large jar of Hershey's Kisses, which we devoured. So that's my little tour of New York City. I enjoyed making this video and reliving some of the moments that I had there. So thank you for watching it with me. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well. So let me show you some of the things that I picked up while I was there. If you remember when I was browsing the dollar book section at the Strand, I had these books in my hand. I spent a grand total of $2.48 on these books. And
My idea for these is to use them for background pages or background paper on my card making. I thought this book here would be really cool because not only does it have pages telling about the different artists, but it also has some artwork in it. So I thought it would be fun to deconstruct this book and make some unique, one-of-a-kind cards with it. Now this one here, I have no clue what this means. I suppose I should look it up, but the book was interesting. The pages were really fun. And I thought it would be great for stamping directly on or using as background, similar to using designer series paper on my cards. So normally I'm not a fan of deconstructing books. I love reading and I love collecting books, but these were just inexpensive books and they'd seen better days, and I just thought it would be a fun, inexpensive way to add to my card making. So I'll try to show you something by the time I finish this video of one of the cards that I'll make with using this idea. Okay, so the other thing that I purchased at the Strand is this stamp set. Now this is by Yellow Owl Workshop, and I already own one of their stamp sets. I actually bought this in the city a couple years ago, and it's been sitting on my bookshelf. I haven't been using it quite so much, so I was really excited to see this stamp set that I could actually add to my cards that I make with this. And these stamps are really fun because they are intended to stamp multiple times the same image to make a card. So look how much fun this is going to be. You can see I already started making some cards, and I've got some masking tape in there. So that's those stamp sets, and I can't wait to show you what I make with those. All right, that was it for the Strand. Next up, let me move these books. You've probably heard me mention that we don't have a Dick Blick art supply store here in Central Florida, so I was really excited that New York has several locations, and I had a really short wish list there. I just wanted to go in and get some Copic markers, which I'll show you a few things that I got in just a moment. But when I walked in the door, they had a stand or a display of watercolor paper that was buy one, get one free. So I picked up 2 packages of Canson 140-pound watercolor paper. There are 30 pages in these, and I think that's fabulous in itself. There's 30 pages. So I got 60 pages for about right around $10, which I thought was a great deal. So much so that I went back a couple of days later and picked up 4 more packages of them to bring home to my friends. Now I have to give a great big shout out and thank you to my husband, because he toted these around New York City in a tote bag all day on his shoulder, and they are quite heavy. So thank you, honey, for that. In addition, I wanted to say I have been looking for some bright white watercolor paper similar to Tim Holtz's Ranger paper, and in the store I thought that this was it. The lighting just didn't really show me that this was a cream colored paper, but when I got home I realized it is cream colored. It's light cream. Still a great paper, and again, for the bargain price that I got it for, it just can't be beat. But it is not bright white. I just wanted to point that out to you. It is cream colored. All right, so also at Dick Blick, I needed some additional Copic multi-liner pens, markers to kind of use to do freehand work for my stamping and to do fill-in work. And what's great about these multi-liners is that these are Copic friendly, which means that you can draw on your paper, let the ink dry, and then you can color in with your alcohol-based Copic or whatever type of alcohol markers you use, and it won't bleed into the black. This black won't bleed. So I got these in a few different size tips. It also says that it's water proof, so I look forward to testing that out, using it with my watercolor painting as well. So these are the 2 sizes I got. This one was a little bit larger, and I thought this would be fun for lettering and so forth. And speaking of lettering, I have been eyeballing Tombows. There's so many tutorials online right now of fancy lettering, and I have good handwriting, but I can't do the lettering. So I just wanted to try by purchasing one marker at first to try my hand at lettering. And Tombow, on their website, they have some great worksheets that you can download for free to practice. So the difference between these Tombow markers and the Marvies that I also use, they're both watercolor, so they're good for doing watercolor work with. But the Tombow markers have a softer tip, a softer nib, so it is great for doing your hand lettering. So I look forward to trying that in the future. All right, so that's it for Dick Blick. I just got a couple things there. What more can I show you? Okay, when I was in the Paper Source, that really cute store on the upper west side of the city, I really was tired that day, and as beautiful as the store was, I just wasn't into shopping, but I didn't want to leave without getting anything, so I picked up a few embossing powders. This one here is made by Ranger. It's a copper embossing powder. It's a super fine powder. Funny thing is I got home and I realized I already have 2 bottles of copper embossing powder, so I'm stocked up on embossing powder right now. This one is by Stampendous, and it is called Aged Gold Embossing Enamel. It's bigger chunks of gold embossing powder, I guess. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. So I'll make a card with this and show you in a future video. So that's my embossing powders. And finally, these weren't actually purchases. These were just things that I picked up along the way. Some postcards, some little cards from some of the restaurants we ate at, some wine that I tried, etc., etc., etc. But when we were at Chloe's restaurant, again, my favorite chef in the entire world, she had this really cute, let me switch it around, really cute takeout menu. And so I took out the menu. I thought, wow, this front is so cute. I think it would make a cute card. So I've actually cut it apart already and measured it. And I'm thinking up a way to use these to make a really cute card. Or maybe even put them in a little cute little frame and put them on my desk because I'm just such a Chloe fan. So when you're traveling, pick up papers and maps and literature on the places that you go to, because you never know how you can utilize that into your crafting. So that's it for my purchases from New York City. I didn't really get too much, but I got things that meant a lot to me, and I can't wait to make things to just keep that memory alive of our wonderful, wonderful trip in the city.
Thank you for spending some time with me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and come back and see me again soon. Bye.